the product of phytoscience, stand out from other options? I'm sure you've actually mentioned that you were using, other forms of medicine for 15 years and they didn't work. So what made these products stand out from others?
I did use many products. I tried many things. I already mentioned some of the drugs I was on.
Yes.
I had surgery because the disease had completely destroyed cartilage in my right wrist. And so the surgery was to basically place a metal plate so that they could support my wrist and my actual hand, which is permanent now. So I have metal in my one hand. But when I started to experience the same problem in the other hand, they couldn't put a metal plate. So they did what they call debridement surgery, where they scrape the affected area, hopefully trying to remove anything that is causing any irritation as well as the inflammation. But unfortunately for me, it only gave me temporary relief for a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and then after that the swelling was back. So that was, I don't know if I would say a wasted experience, but that's something that I went through. I also did acupuncture. I did physiotherapy. I did a lot. I drank all sorts of concoctions, just trying to get to the bottom of my problem. But once I saw or heard about phytoscience, I think the key things that stood out for me, it being 100% natural, because now I was worried that I'm experiencing side effects as well from the drugs that I was on. So I appreciated that it was natural. I appreciated that it will give you an overall fix. It wasn't disease specific. It was targeting my sick cells. So wherever they were in my body, I appreciated that this is just going to be one fix, as opposed to taking different pills for different problems.
So as you were using these products, did you face any side effects? Because I'm sure most forms of medication, they do have side effects which you could experience. Did you? I understand this is a natural product, coming from natural plants, but did you at any point face side effects?
Well, with anything new that you introduce to your body, you will feel something. You start eating something, you start doing something differently, you can feel something differently. So in my case, I wouldn't call it a side effect per se. It was more of a body recovery reaction to me introducing the product into my system. What I experienced, I had more like a blunt headache for a couple of days, about 3 days. It felt like my hand was wrapped in thick cloth, and it was constant for those 3 days. But after the 3 days were up, it just went away.
Okay.
Whether I should put it down to the product or not, I don't know. But I would like to think it was the product, because it was the one new thing that I had introduced into my body.
When you started using the product, did you stop using the other medication you were using before, which you have mentioned?
Okay, so with me, before using Phytoscience stem cell therapy product, I had tried other things. Remember I said I was looking for a solution, so I've been researching quite a lot. I had discovered some other thing, for lack of a better word, where I needed to come off my medication. So I had slowly weaned myself off all the medications against my doctor's recommendation, and I'm not recommending that to anybody. Okay. But I decided I'm going to take control of my own health. And so slowly took myself off my medication. It took me a while, because I would just reduce every week until I was down to no tablets. It was a painful experience because my body now had become used to this medication. So I would get serious flare-ups where my body would literally be screaming at me because it wasn't getting the medication that it was getting before. But by the time I came across Phytoscience products, I had successfully taken myself off all my medication. And here and there I would take painkillers when I would have a flare-up, but I was no longer on your high dose, drugs on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, thank you for that.